Welcome to Ancient Greece with me, by Jingo, and after a time I finally fulfilled a promise. I think I made it 18 months ago that I would finally get around to doing Zeus in an effort to do a broad brush approach to Let's Plays. Lots of games covering lots of areas, you know, covering all tastes. Apart from it's mildly successful. It's a broad brush if you like strategy games about city building. It's very broad indeed. Anyway, this is like Pharaoh, but set in ancient Greece. I may have already started this just a little bit, but I'll start from the beginning because I did a previous recording while my Pharaoh video was processing. Made it very slow. The trouble is that when not much is happening, usually bits where you fast forward through. It's usually the time of insightful and witty commentary to fill the gaps. So it was a very long video, even though it was very short. Anyway, the game is split up, and unlike Pharaoh, where you have to go through right at the very beginning, it's split up into adventures, which I guess are a bit like Old Kingdom, New Kingdom. I'm going to use Pharaoh as a point of reference here. You're fully understanding that, you know, of course you've played Pharaoh. Who hasn't? Most people. Talk about gaming with people at work. I feel like a bloody dinosaur. They're all talking about the League of Warcrafts and Legends of Call of Duty, Legends of Duty, and Division. That Tom Clancy thing. It's doing quite well in making games and writing books, even though he's dead. Don't let a thing like death get away with writing books. That's the spirit. Anyway, back to ancient Greece. Yes, it's split up into these adventures. Zeus and Europa, everything based around the city of Thebes. I'll go into more detail over the next about Thebes in the next few videos to treat for you. Perseus and Medusa. This is set. They all have a running theme. Athens through the ages, about Athens. That's a long one, that is. We'll have fun with that one. That's going to take videos. Voyages of Jason, Hercules' Labours, Peloponnesian War. That's quite a good one. The Trojan War. I think they're all good, and they all get increasingly more difficult. So the amount of swearing and cursing will, I'm going to say increase, but I start at quite a low level. Anyway, without further ado, let's go to Zeus and Europa. And usually with these kind of things, turn that up a bit, that's better. I talk over the introduction to the mission, but they're quite good. These are actually more entertaining than the Pharaoh ones, and probably as good as I could do it. So, without further ado,
follow a cow.
Follow a cow. The priestess from the oracle said to follow a cow.
A peculiar command, to be sure. But then the priestess is never wrong. She promised that great things would come to the person who follows her cow until it lays down to sleep, and then builds a city on the spot.
Well, I've never done a course in city planning or architectural management or whatever, but that sounds like pretty poor advice to me. I'll let him finish first. I want to talk about the Oracle of Delphi.
And thus the priestess's bovine-centric prophecy came to an end. The cow did not choose a very good spot. She fell asleep a short distance from a hideous multi-headed serpent that purportedly belongs to Ares.
How did he fall asleep there?
The monster is always ravenously hungry and eats everything that comes near him. Building a city here won't be easy, but the promised reward is irresistible.
I suppose if the reward is a city, I'm up for it. I'd follow a cow and found a city if we got a city afterwards in real life. Follow a cow? The priestess from the oracle said to follow a cow. I can also talk about that, chap. A cow. Anyway, difficulty level. I'm going to opt for hero, I think, because we've got beginner, very easy, mortal easy, hero normal, titan hard, Olympian, very hard. Various stages of Greek mythology. Titans are, of course, people that people try to overthrow the Olympian gods. A quite exciting period of Greek mythology that seems to get passed over in favour of like Hercules and Labours of Hercules and like Zeus sleeping with everybody. There's a good meme thing on the internet about like problems in Greek mythology, And it's a pie chart, and it's just a tiny sliver that says everything else, and the rest of the pie chart is just Zeus can't keep it in his pants. And it's right, every story in Greek mythology starts with, yeah, so Zeus slept with somebody, and then this happened. It'll probably become apparent. I mean, the Olympian gods are basically one big incestuous family. Zeus is like the father and the father and uncle and cousin and brother of everyone. And you think, well, you know, they've all got 6 fingers. Banjo's playing everywhere. You look how so into like everything. Like people are like wives and brothers and sisters. Oh yeah, the Oracle of Delphi. Interesting, they were never wrong because they were so vague they couldn't be. It's actually something about the water around Delphi. I think it's got kind of like minerals in it that cause hallucinations. Or certainly something mystical like that. So people drinking from the water there, like there's like a spring there that goes through kind of rock that has mineral in it. But they've got like lead in it or something like that. Mercury. Bad for long-term health, but great for sounding mystic. And there'd be things like, yeah, follow a cow, or like, what about Aeneas? Something like, you'll found a city where your soldiers start eating the plates. And that happened because, like, soldiers were eating stuff from leaves, and then they ate the leaves that their food was on. It's a bit like those Eastern European dishes where you eat, it's like, I can't remember what it is now, like goulash or something like that, but you actually eat it outside, it's out of a pudding, and you eat like the food itself, then you eat the plate that it's in. I think that's highly efficient, and we ought to bring in more of that. Save on the washing up at least. So there's some vague advice, such as, straight back to what I was talking about before, and that's, you know, just an intersection of like, the famous one, of course, is about the Battle of Salamis, where the oracle told them to rely on the wooden wall. It could mean anything. Some people followed it literally and built a wooden wall and then got overrun by Persians, and those that didn't and took it figuratively and invested in the navy managed to hold back the Persians by locking them up into the tight squeeze where the numbers didn't matter. The same with the Battle of Thermopylae. Funnel Persians into like tight spaces and then the numbers don't really matter. But that could have worked either way. If the wooden wall, literal wooden wall, had worked, you could have turned around and said to the oracle, could have said, well, yeah, I told you to follow the wooden wall. Anyway, back to the game. This is a huge map to say you like launch straight into the middle of the game. Like straight at the beginning of the game. Like, the beginning of Pharaoh, the map was tiny. Like that Nut or Nakada, the first mission. It's just, no hardly room to build houses. But this, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 farming areas. You've got timber, marble. It's the only place actually that doesn't have any farmland, so why you build there in the first place, I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to do some farming. What I might do is, farming is actually a bit different in this one. You have your regular farms like this, and then you have your lodges and your trees which you put onto the land like that, and you're building nearby and like the farm from it. A little bit like the agriculture is done in Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom, coming soon to by Jingo channel near you. And then you have, which I think is like the most novel bit of this game, well, one of the things, one of the most novel ones, is these guarding sheds and sheep. So you put down the building there, and then you put the sheep in separately, and they wander about and do their own thing. I think that's unique in terms of like city building games of this genre. Anyway, I ought to get on and do something. Here's a bridge. What I think I might do is like found a city there. I'm not going on this side of the river because that's, I don't know, because I'm arbitrary. One of my Crusader King 2 traits would be arbitrary. Sorry to say. And I'd like to think of a lot of things. Oh, I'm honest and gregarious and just and chivalrous and brave. Nah, arbitrary, I'm pretty certain. Arbitrary, what else would it be? to think I'd be kind rather than cruel, but, you know, so does everyone. So what I might do is like a path over here. Because there's wolves over here, I'll do my agriculture over here, like your wheat farm. And possibly like the grower's lodge. And my carding sheds and the cheese factories, goats, and what you might call them, I'll have down here. And housing will be the intersection between that. In fact, I might have the housing over here, because that land's not really useful otherwise. Besides some common housing. Housing's a bit different in this compared to Pharaoh, and I don't know if I like it or not. 1, 2, 4. Because what you have in like Pharaoh and Caesar and the older games, and I thought I'd done that wrong. But you don't have much money to start with anyway, I can't be like wasting it. You have common housing, and then you have separate elite housing. And common housing never upgrades to elite housing, and elite housing never goes down to common housing. Which is fine, but I quite liked how like it would suddenly turn once your house got luxury goods. Would turn into grow into like 3x3 mansions, and then 4x4 palaces. I think that was more satisfying than just putting down something that would never change out of its, like, you know, whatever. Great commentary. Yeah, 2 thumbs up. There was something quite exciting about having like 40% labour shortage, because all of your housing is suddenly at some point upgraded to good housing. Because like the population of the house would increase as well, and it'd take out great swathes of the working population as they all became decadent scribes. I quite like that challenge. The fact that you're able to plan for it, I think, is a bit of a. Oh yeah. I was thinking my Sarah, give it stew. I might just leave the voice acting to the game, or I might not. It might be more fun this way. Fortunately, there's absolutely no reason to set up down there anyway, so challenge it is not. I've got a feeling that might be a little big. Not there. I don't have to worry about a firehouse and architect's post, because they're now combined into one. It may not be accurate, but I'm not complaining. The granary there. Storehouse. I might have the storehouse down here actually, because that's where the... No, it won't. Used to be indecisive, now I'm not so sure. Also, what's different in this game is you no longer get the workers, so you don't have to have your industry particularly near housing. Now, I don't know if I like that or not. It takes a large part of the challenge out of the game, where you have to have like industry nearby, but not too nearby, so it affects the desirability. I say it kind of simplifies it quite a lot. But then again, challenge might come somewhere else. Of course employees are needed. There are no employees. In fact, here they are. The drones are arriving. Anyway, Thebes, which is where I am at the moment. I thought for years it was in Egypt, because there is an Egypt in Thebes, and if you've ever played Civilization, any one of them I think, up until Civilization 4 and 5, the first city you found is Thebes, as the Egyptians. But no, it's actually a Greek. I think it was a Greek city before it was a Egyptian one. Thebes in ancient mythology is like a lesson to Athens about what cities shouldn't be. I listened to a lecture about this a while ago. I can't remember much of it. But like everything bad and all the wrong decisions that a city can make, that Athens can learn from, Thebes do. I mean, Thebes is the city that Oedipus took over, and we all know Oedipus, thanks to Freud more than anything else. You know, the chap who killed his father, slept with his mother, and then, you know, had sons that were also his brother, and sisters that were also his daughters. Yes, that works. He was invited into Thebes to solve the Sphinx's riddle, because they had been cursed by a terrible plague. In fact, he'd been cursed by a Sphinx. You know, that's bad enough. And here's the riddle they had to solve. I want to see if anybody would like to answer it in the comments below. What is 3 legs in the... Well, it's 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs in the evening? Answers in the postcard in the comment below, and I'll let you know the answer in the next video. Or, you know, you could just, like, Google it. It's one of the oldest riddles, and it's also one of the poorest. I think you won't be very impressed with the answer. I know my friend wasn't when I told him, but it's like, that's nonsense, he said. That's just awful, and he blamed me for it. Well, not my fault. I wasn't, you know, I'm not that old. I didn't think it up. Anyway, I've spent all my money. I may have gone a bit overboard. Mount Cytherium becomes hostile. What did I do? I've only just got here. Literally been here 3 months. I've already upset somebody. I'm loath to speak your name by Jingo because it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Argave of Mount Cytherium. Argave of Mount Cytherium. I'm extremely angry with you. There's no telling what I might do. Give me a chance. Well, just, you know, steady on. I mean, they really sort of push you to the deep end. What I might do, I think I've got an ally somewhere, so I'll put myself into debt and then rely on the kindness of strangers. Cheers, bye Jingo. I've noticed that you could use some money because I think so highly of you. I, Chiron of Mount Pelion. This is Chiron of, you know, Greek mythology fame. Is a centaur. Half horse, half man, and had a penchant for getting drunk and rowdy. Oh, give me a chance, it was just getting round there. Here's something interesting. In Zeus, unlike all of the city building games, city builder series games, the houses require food before anything else, even before water. So, you know, that's something to take into, that's something to consider. Nemean Games. Our city doesn't have any contentment of anything. We don't have wolves. What am I waiting for? Waiting for employees. There we go, that's the stuff. What I might do, have I got a tax collector down yet? Probably not worth the expense of building it. But, you know, we live in a society of laws and taxes. Here's something I don't particularly like. You have to, in order to get information about your city, you're not allowed to see the map. 98 short. But I do like the fact that you get the overview on the tabs. So you don't have to go into a special overseer panel. Steady on! Horrors by Jingo because they want more land to call their own. An army of rival Greeks of Argave, leader of Mount Cytherium, is approaching. I'm getting good at that now. Mount Cytherium is approaching and will try to invade the city in 2 months. I see. What I might do is relocate. That's the one, isn't it? There we go. What don't we need? That's all. That's actually all pretty essential stuff.
Dude! Look
Dude!
at the basket!
Dude! Look at the size of this basket.
Dude! Look at the size of this basket!
The right-clicking, like people talking, a lot funnier, a lot more entertaining.
I don't know what my assistants are complaining about. These parcels
Well,
are full.
they really went to town with the voice acting. Good work, you know, whatever the name is. Time for preparation has passed. You bet it has. It's like I've only just got here. Military works differently in this game to all other ones as well. What you do is you build certain houses. Pay them off. There you go. 350 drachma. I'm not ruining this perfectly good city for the cost of a pittance. Yeah, what happens is you build houses, and those houses represent divisions. So these will form a rabble. If population gets high enough, you can have a rabble. And as you build posh housing, and the posh housing gets better, like you give them weapons, then you give them wine, which is always a good combination. Then you give them horses, so then each house then provides a farm, which is directed from the palace here. So you tell them to go there, and it does away with the idea of forts entirely. It's quite revolutionary in that sense, and in several senses, like Zeus takes a step away from like previous incarnations of the game. It's also quite slow apparently. This is full speed, isn't it? No, that's full speed. So I don't know how patient you're going to have to be before. Ooh, yes please. Can we have some skeins of fleece as well? Culture, let's see. Oh, can I sell anything to anybody? That might be. Wood, armour, wine, sculpture, wine, onions, marble, wheat and wine. It's not wheat, but that's not a very good idea. Just yet. Can I produce wine? No. Can produce fleece though, that might be an idea. So what I was saying earlier, I think I spent all my money. Never mind. This is a bit poor start. The last time I did it, I was quite careful with my finances. By my standards. What I should focus on more than anything is just getting the city up to 1,000 and then worrying about making money later, I think. Because what happens then, here, and I think it was brought in an emperor as well, is you can go back to the same cities. You're not always building the same, building cities from scratch every time. Which, if nothing else, might shorten the videos considerably. Hey, that's a promise. But gymming. Ugh. I've not got enough food, but I've got a gym. Because this is, of course, ancient Greece, the land of the bulging muscles. Cheers, Chalcedon. Chalcedon? Home of the Caledonian boar, I think. Chalcedonian boar. It's always confused me because Caledonia is somewhere, it's another name for Scotland, I think. So there. So the map's a little, well, we've pretended Turkey doesn't exist. I suppose for the Greeks didn't. The important part of Turkey is this bit, this is the Greek part. Very narrow worldview. Just Greece, bit of Turkey, Crete, not even Cyprus. I mean that's Aphrodite Island. I've been there, very nice. I didn't see Aphrodite. But then again she's, before my time and also fictional. So no surprises. But they make a big thing about it. Come to Cyprus, the land of Aphrodite. Of course, it's the goddess of love. Don't have to advertise and come to Cyprus, get laid. Possibly, I don't know. I couldn't possibly comment. Appeal to the neighbourhood. I'm not spending money on like zhuzhing up the neighbourhood. Since I've got some money to hand, I'm going to demonstrate what I meant by the revolutionary system of herding. So there's some 4 carding sheds. Put something around there like that, and make sure they don't fall down. I don't know why I have to supply the safety. Surely agricultural buildings that farmers should look after them themselves, which is something that Emperor Rise of the Middle Kingdom does quite nicely. Like the farms there, just, you know, the farmers look after themselves. And then you put down the sheep like that. How cool is that? I mean, it's also quite irritating, but, you know, quite cool. 15... I'm not going to the Pythian Games because I've not got any actors, sorry. They're expensive. Oh, a minute. 15... drachma, of course, it's in Greece. Of course it's drachma. So there you go. They bring out stuff and then they just sit around, supposedly chase off wolves. Although in another run I had of this, they didn't do anything of the sort. They just sat there and watched the wolves devour. Oh, so much wheat. I could actually sell some. Might be an idea. Who buys wheat? Marpelion. Well, trading posts are done, and I don't know if I like this change either. I'm like, fucking me, I'm a bit small C conservative here. It's change and I don't like it. Where instead of like building docks and then everything done through your warehouses, each city has its own trading post, and which functions as a warehouse. So you say, I'm not going to sell wine, I'm going to sell wheat. So there you go. So I go there, and then the traders would go directly to jail. Do not pass go, do not collect £200. They go directly there, so perhaps rather than faffing with, you know, setting warehouses to be basically de facto these. I don't know if I like it. I quite like the challenge of trying to get everything to work well. And it takes up a lot of space as well, a lot of space, especially if you've only got limited docklands. I quite like the idea of having one dock and several warehouses, whereas in this one, every city has its own trading pier and they're all that big. And if you've only got like 2 or 3 squares in which you can place something, either a trireme wharf or a trading pier, yeah, your loyalties are tied. Do I like make a bit of money and then sell out the city to armed invaders? Where are you going, Slim?
Thrown out of
my hole.
What did I do to deserve this?
He sounds like, what's his name? You know the one. I can't remember where he features from. All I know him from is from the film Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is quite revolutionary, and I did quite like Bob Hoskins in that. He's dead now. But that was quite revolutionary for the time, because it was one of the first instances of like real life actors and cartoons in a full feature length spread. It's very good, and the storyline's quite good as well. Fun for all the family. I always enjoy watching it. What's his name? Is it like that hound with a droopy or something like that? It's all like, and he features in that as a lift operator, like going up, sir, mind the steps, sir. Thrown out of my home. Steady on.
I'm hungry, and I live in a shabby home. Mugging is the only thing that brings a smile to my face.
Muggers? Less of that. Why is there also interest? A bit of martial law also, that's it. He's having a whale of a time.
I'm hungry, and I live in a shabby home. Mugging
I tell you what,
is
that's the
only
first time
thing
I've
that
seen
brings a
muggers
smile
in
to
this
my
game.
face.
Is it? Is it because I'm on a harder difficulty level than normal? I mean, yes, you pay taxes, but also, why isn't he doing something
Unrest
about
in
it?
the city? Shut your mouth. Things are peaceful here.
Thank you. This chap's doing a terrible job. It's like the Benny Hill show. Oh, finally! That's better. That's law and order. Greek style. There we go, getting some proper houses now. Do I have any food? We've got a bit of food. What's the budget looking like? I'm going quite deep into this to say it's the first. It's really throwing you into the deep end. Gift receives, exports, 720, exports, wages. I'll be making a profit if I didn't build anything. This is only supposed to be a very short mission. All I have to do is build population up and I'm making a meal of it, crikey. What I might do... Well, I won't do because I don't have the people yet. But I will do. Build some more farms because that seems to be where the profit is. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter how many... Fertility is out the window now. So that farm there is going to be as fertile as the rest of them. Which I think is a bit of a shame, because it made land scarce. It doesn't matter if you build it there, or if you build it like there, or there. They're all equally as fertile. Whereas I quite like the idea of like building like a certain amount of land that's properly fertile, and the rest of it you'd have to get grazing land. Well, what I might do is also get a dairy on the go. For cheese can't be made without milk. Thank you. That basic biology lesson. Not biology, is it? I suppose milk is biology, but the actual curdling of it. It's the perfect symbiosis of man and nature. It can't exist without both. And I spent my money again. I'm terrible. City's got plenty of food. It's just, I'm just selling it, that's all. Wish you could sell cheese, because that sells for a far better price. I'd be the type of person to, feed, bread to people and then sell all the luxury stuff, because that's where the money is. And then I lose the greater point of the game, which of course you make more money from taxing your own population, bringing it up to a higher level. That took me years to find out, that did in Pharaoh. Far more profitable to get a load of palatial estates and then import a load of stuff and then tax them on it is more profitable than just trying to export a load of stuff. Huh. I've got a bit of money. Ooh, of course, because I won. When certain things happen, like you win battles supposedly, when I bribed the army off, you get these commemorative monuments which are very desirable to live next to. Don't know why. So I put that there, and suddenly we realise they don't have any culture. Well, that was anticlimactic. I'll put a gym this side there. The podium, but I've not got any philosophers. Some Velociraptors. College out in the fields. There we go. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm really making a meal. I guess just all I have to do is get 1,000 people in one place. I didn't expect this to take this long, but then again I have been rambling about Greek mythology. I haven't even started yet. Oh, the things you can talk about. My favorite, I think one of the favourite gods of the pantheon is Hephaestus, god of the forge, because he's a lame god, and he's lame because he got flicked down from Mount Olympus twice. Like he irritated Zeus. Bearing in mind Zeus is his father, because Zeus is everybody's father. He got on his nerves, so he just flicked him off, and he fell down Mount Olympus and injured himself because it's a long way down. And then, poor old Hephaestus, he's married to Aphrodite, who's also his sister, but that's the goddess of love. This luscious, beautiful woman, and this rather ugly, hunchback, club-footed, injured god. And she has an affair, it's like a soap opera this. She has a long-running affair with Ares, the god of war. Who's this big, burly, strong, fit, you know, fit in several senses of the word. And yeah, constantly cuckolded by his brother, who sleeps with the sister, who's also his wife. It's great stuff, you know. Modern soaps have got nothing on this. So there's things like, and we'll probably learn about this in later missions, but he traps the two of them in the act of lovemaking by making a fine mesh, because he's a god of the forge. He makes like a web out of metal and hides it in the bed, the marital bed, and he catches them and he says, "Look, I've caught them. They can't get out." So they're lovemaking and they're caught in this net and they can't get out. Go for it. Well, there's some nice houses. Could be nicer. I need some olive oil, but I don't want to pay for it. This is what you can do. You can go to Allies. Yeah, go to Allies and say, gives us some olive oil. That helps a lot when you've got like structures to build. Because if you need marble, just go, give us some marble, give us some more marble, give us some more marble. Oh, you don't like me? Have some fleece or something like that. Now give us some more marble. And while that's going on, I'll also buy some marble off of you. We can really speed the game up, which is probably a good idea.
Capable ruler.
Three? Well, yeah. Well, I'm hoping for something a bit more than that. So yeah, and then he sort of parades the two of them in this bed they can't get out of, because it's a fine mesh of when it goes to Olympus to say, "Look at this! Look at these two." And I don't know what their reaction are, because I don't particularly like Hephaestus. I suppose we'll find out in a later mission. Spoiler alert. He also does that to get back into Olympus. He makes Hera, Zeus's wife and sister, naturally, a chair. He says, "Yeah, I know you flicked me down the mountain, and your husband flicked me down the mountain, but no hard feelings. Here's a throne for you to sit in. I've crafted it myself. I'm a master craftsman." And she sits in it. And this chair has also got a fine mesh in it. So she sat in this chair and can't get out, and nobody can break the web. And so Hephaestus comes along and is like, "So, I heard you're going to let me back into Mount Olympus now." It's like, fine. And everything, happens. Everything sorts out nicely. And he's got his forge, and I believe it's on the island of Lemnos. There is island in Greek mythology that to this day you can't stay overnight in. Like they shut up shop, gate shut. They can visit it during the day, and then during the night everybody leaves. I can't remember where it is now. Oh, that's nice. 840. Come on, everyone, just pack in a bit tighter. I thought I'd need a second marketplace, but these seem to be developing just fine. And our philosophers completely befuddled by the other contestants, lost the Isthmian Games. Oh, it's a shame, because I do actually have some philosophers, so I might have cared a little. So yeah, I do enjoy Greek mythology. I'd say that's my favourite mythology. I know the most about it, followed by Roman mythology, which is more or less the same thing. Apart from interesting differences, like Ares is almost hated. The Greeks don't particularly like war, even though they engage in it constantly. It's just a done thing. Greek city-states fighting each other. And Vulcan is not a lame god in the same way that Hephaestus is. Vulcan is, of course, based in Sicily by Mount Etna. Hey, finally. Anyway, that's... Under my leadership, beginning to thrive. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. He didn't say beginning to thrive, it's not thriving. Plus it counts the monster as one of its residents. So, that's mission 1. And what you find is that mission 2 will take place exactly here. We're not going to go anywhere else. And this time, I'd completely forgotten about the Hydra just down the road. It's so immaterial, but we will need marble. In fact, that's a good revenue stream, so we'll have to do something about that Hydra. But that's for next time. I hope you enjoyed this first introduction to Greece and introduction to Greek mythology, by Jingo way. And I will see you next time. Same time, same place. Not the same time, it's going to be a little bit later on because we've got to process this video and upload it. I've got some Pharaoh to do in the meantime, and a mystery game, which you might enjoy, you might not. Anyway, I'll see you next time for more of the same.